So in today's session, I'll give you a very high level overview about what is Oracle Hyperion-Essbase, where does it use, what kind of opportunity you have, the architecture of it, and some of the common question related to Oracle Hyperion. So we first start with what is Oracle Hyperion is primarily used for. It is primarily designed for, it's a OLAP server and primarily designed for your reporting purpose. So therefore, the first step is to understand how conventional business intelligence reporting work. The diagram which you see in my screen is a conventional BI reporting solution. Now if you look at this, it's a layered solution. You see the first part of yours, it says your operational data source. It means data come from your operational data source. What is operational data source? Like common data source, you go to Walmart, when you buy something, the system they use to track the information is called operational data source. Or when you do your flight ticket booking, the system they use called operational data source. Operational data source is a backbone of any organization which drive the actual organization. So the data which finally lands up into the data source database is called operational source system. A sales order processing, your ticketing system, any shop you buy something, all called operational data source. Oracle apps, Oracle EBS, PeopleSoft, your SAP, ERP. These are primarily an application which finally collect data from different sources and put into the data source. And then on top of that, the typical conventional BI reporting work on top of data warehousing solution. From operational data source, you extract data and put into data warehousing. The purpose behind this, operational data source is a backbone of your business, and therefore you do not want this to be hampered, and all the business analytic needs should be catered through data warehousing. We have a couple of videos about data warehousing fundamental, ETL and all. You can watch them in detail, watch them as well to know the basics about data warehousing and all. Here I am focusing on how your conventional BI reporting is different than your Essbase solution. So the conventional BI reporting sit on top of data warehousing. It means all the requests people make as a user, any request which I make as a user, I make the request from reporting. The request go to your report and finally passes to an enterprise warehouse. Or maybe your enterprise warehouse may be built on top of your RDBMS like Oracle or SQL Server. The query process over here and response back to the user via report. It means the query processed by enterprise warehouse, and in case I'm using source as Oracle, my query will process via SQL query. This is conventional BI. You can take an example for your, take any BI reporting like OBI, Oracle, any BI reporting solution. For example, I'm showing how traditional BI work. So in traditional BI reporting, people generally, your business user generally connect to the source, and whatever information they want, they simple drag and drop. And when they process this data, the data is actually processed in your underlying data source. When I click on result, I get the required data. So the interface is pretty easy, but the important point over here, the query processing is done at your database. You can look this information. When you look at the administration part, you can see how the query is getting processed. So I'm showing the log file here. The log file gives you information. When I drag and drop behind the screen, some query get processed. Maybe this is my query get processed. The moral of the story, the conventional BI reporting, your query processing is done by your underlying data source. Typically it is RDBMS. How OLAP server like Essbase adds a value to this? OLAP server adds additional layer of source. So every time when user process any query, submit any query, it does not process by your underlying data warehouse. Rather, query is being accessed by intermediate server. It's called database server. It's like a database server, but there's special category database. This is called OLAP. So what is your enterprise data warehouse does? The OLAP server does the same thing, but the way data organized in a OLAP server is completely different. So people, user request, let me clear this. You see, people, all the reporting, rather than it sit on top of your enterprise warehouse. Previously, your reporting was sit on top of enterprise warehouse. The reports are done against your OLAP server. And OLAP server is powerful way of processing your query. So basically, when we are building Hyperion Essbase solution, we are designing this OLAP server. And what does it add value? Let's see next. So from OLAP server, there are two branches go. One for planning and budgeting and one for reporting solution. There are two kind of implementation. When user request the information, the user request is hit your underlying data source, the query get processed and output is given. So query processing done in multi-dimensional database, and the type of queries are called MDX, multi-dimensional expression, rather than SQL. This is called OLAP, online analytical processing. Online, when user requests, the query get processed for analytical queries, and planning and budgeting solution also sit on top of that. So point one, your OLAP solution works in between your, where does OLAP solution work in enterprise warehouse? It works in between your reporting solution, reporting system and enterprise warehouse. Now let's go next and talk about this in more detail. So what does Essbase is? It's a OLAP server. Okay. What is this? I underline all the important. It's a database, right? It's a database, first point. What does the basic functionality of database? Typical database are designed to hold your data, and when user requests it process and give it to you. But it's a spatial category database. It's a multi-dimensional. See, this is a visual, visualization of Essbase. This is how Essbase look like. It's a multi-dimensional cube. If you like to see this in more detailed manner, Essbase also can be plot. When I draw this Essbase in Excel sheet, this is how it look like. So you see over here, it's a multi-dimensional view of your data. I show you over here, multi-dimensional view. Right? What is multi-dimensional view? It's a two-dimensional view of your data. See, one dimension is your time, another dimension of province. Intersection of time and province is your data. So you read this: total sales done in New York. Total sales done in New York. Right? This is how you read: total sales done in New York in Q1 by sales manager John. This was two-dimensional view where you talk about total sales done in New York in the month of January. It's a three-dimensional view. Total sales is done in New York, Q1, January. So this is three-dimensional. I could have four-dimensional view as well. The fourth dimension become store type. Total sales for in Q1 in New York done by John, sales manager. Under store type is online sales. So data in traditional ERP system or transaction system is organized as per transaction. You see, when you go to Walmart or in Big Bazaar or any other outlet, the system they use is called transaction system. And when you buy something, for each bill you generate, you buy a set of product, a bill you generate. For each bill there is one transaction, and this is how it's stored, right? So you have a transaction ID. This contain information about what product you have bought, which date, what was the store ID, store details, sales manager details, operating cost. So one row is called one transaction. It's a transactional database, OLTP, whereas Essbase is multi-dimensional database where data is organized in multiple dimension. And the primary purpose of organizing data in a multiple dimension and format is the data analysis become easy. I show you. In fact, Essbase itself, what does Essbase itself mean? Essbase is an extended spreadsheet database. It's a database which extends the capability of a spreadsheet. A spreadsheet like an Excel. So it's a database. So all, if I write in double quotes, it provides BI or data analytics remaining in Excel. all the BI functionality, or you can use BI functionality remain in Excel. You can use all the BI functionality remaining in Excel. So when you go through your Excel interface, your users are businesses are pretty comfortable working with Excel. Remaining in Excel, I can connect to Essbase and play around with data. You see, just a couple of mouse clicks required to play around with data. I don't need to be sophisticated interface or complicated web interface to require to analyze your data. So that's a database. It's a multi-dimensional database. First point. Second, it is designed for your business user to take some business decision and analyze your business data. Primarily designed for analyzing your business data. The users for your transactional system like Oracle ERP, PeopleSoft, or custom defined application, they are front end executive. When you go to Walmart and buy something, the people who interact with you, they are called front end executive, or they are clerks who record your transaction. Where the system like Essbase is being used by business users, like your business analysts, they use this data to compare, to analyze some important information about the business. It allows you to see the same data in multiple view and perspective. It means, let's take a simple example. I like to evaluate my sales by product. This is an example. I like to evaluate my product sales. This is my sales by different product. These are different products, sales in different year, different market. I can see my sales in different product, different time, different market, and different scenario. Same information I can see in multiple contexts. This talk about this says New York January sales for product 110, and this talk about New York January sales for product 120. So people do all kind of analysis in Excel. Though no special skills required to play around with Essbase to the business users. Multiple view and perspective to the same set of data at different level of consolidation. So this is example given of consolidation. For example, my time dimension is like year, quarter, month, week, days, and minutes. The most granular data is minute. The system we use in a transactional system, the information is recorded or transaction recorded every minute. But for an analytical system, we need a consolidated or summary data to make data meaningful to the users. Data get consolidated to the higher level. In this example, for let's say I'm looking at my monthly sales. Okay, this is my monthly sales. Monthly sales for product cola. Right? I can look at quarterly sales or yearly sales. Do you see? This is called consolidation, or drill down and drill up. I could see yearly sales, monthly sales, or quarterly sales. With a single mouse click, I can see detail or summary information with no special function or scripts required. So this is what a basic. So we know Essbase is a database, is a special category database called multi-dimensional database, primarily designed for data analysis. It sits in between your enterprise warehouse and your reporting system to provide as a data source for my reporting system. Now, this is another way of presenting your data. Essbase can be used for what-if analysis and fast aggregation and quick response time of your query. So you see all the query, maybe you see the sophisticated report behind it. There could be Essbase as a data source, data server. For example, I show you a couple of dashboards. Dashboard is an interface, is like your car dashboard, where you see all information of your car. The entire car can be operated from a common interface with your dashboard. It may possible the dashboard which you see in your screen, the source behind this could be Essbase server. So it's a processing engine. Essbase server is a processing engine which work behind your all analysis. my browser view is not very appropriate, it will pop up. You would see over here a couple of charts and other components in your browser view. So that is what the slide says. The source behind query processing. Give me 1 minute. Data Sbase could work as a data source where you can extract data and present in a multiple, in a very you can navigate and present in a multiple meaningful format, and the query processing of my data would be very high. For business intelligence, one of the important parameters is performance. If a query is not fast, people do not like to use your source system. We wanted the query performance should be faster with the speed of thought, and data could be seen summary and detail level very fast. Sbase is designed to serve these two purposes. You also see this is another slide which talk about in detail where does Hyperion Sbase fit into picture enterprise warehouse. Again, you see it's a layered model where the first is you have got disparate sources. There are multiple sources from which you extract the data and put into a common source. You may call this as an operational data source, or it could be directed to your enterprise warehouse. On top of your operational data source or enterprise data warehouse, enterprise data warehouse is designed for multiple line of business, designed for multiple department. It's an enterprise solution. When I say enterprise, it means it has information about product, market, sales, distribution channel, employee, finance, HR, all kind of information in your enterprise warehouse has. And on top of that, we can create data marts. OLAP could be a data mart. So you can assume it is a departmental solution. Now see this requirement. I am designing a my enterprise warehouse consists of multiple. It has information about customer, product, distribution channel, HR and all, and finance. But my user request is they want BI reporting only for financial intelligence. They need BI reporting for financial intelligence, or maybe there is more business specific question. They say I want my product distribution should be increased, should be streamlined. The question could be in a business specific question, which the question that I want a product distribution should be streamlined. I want to leverage it more productivity. I want to add more productivity. So maybe I can design one OLAP solution specific for this department, or Sbase server. This I could give a name over here called product distribution. So it could be a departmental specific, it could be line of business specific, it could be a specific solution for particular department. So Sbase could be used as departmental solution and access data from your enterprise warehouse and provide a report on top of that. Ultimate reporting and analysis. Data mining and data analysis can be done. It is also possible to build a solution Sbase can directly pull metadata from your underlying source system. Like you are using Oracle EBS, Oracle Customer Relationship Management, SAP, PeopleSoft, any application solution. You can plug in Sbase with that and start preparing a report. It works in both the way. So now you see what is typical lifecycle architecture we follow in Sbase. This is summary view of the Sbase lifecycle. I get into more detailed lifecycle architecture. You create database, you create application, load data. Typically we can classify it or summarize in 3 steps. Pull data and metadata from source. You pull data and metadata from source, step first, and then store into space, and then finally aggregate the data, aggregate, apply business logic or filter, all this activity you do, and then you make it ready for reporting system. 3 simple steps. So pull data from source, you aggregate them, maybe your data comes for you get monthly sales data, right, and you aggregate to quarterly or even yearly. You can apply some business logic. A simplest business logic could be sale tax, calculating your sale tax like simple expression associate sale tax equals to sales into 5%, as simple as this. Or could be complex business logic related to allocation, conditional statement. Business logic is used in our day-to-day life. Even when you apply for a credit card, the credit card is allocated to you, depends upon the logic behind this. They apply some logic, something like this. If candidate salary, take home salary is more than 100,000, then he is eligible for gold credit card. If salary is in between, some business logic written, we can write a simple or complex business logic in my space. So before reports are built, we want to ensure that all the business logic can be enforced in your OLAP model. Space is pretty good when it comes to data navigation in detail and summary view and preparing a hierarchy. So you see another view of it. The first part of your data model design, we understand the business requirement and design our outline. Outline is like a structure of your database, same as you have when you do a DESC in your database tables, you get the structure of your tables. In a similar fashion, you prepare an outline structure for your space cube. It is something like this: your time dimension, year, quarter, month. You may have hierarchy of a product. So data is essentially stored in hierarchy as compared to in a relational database where data is stored in relational flattened structure. Your typical RDBMS store data in flattened structure. It doesn't have any method through which data can be displayed in hierarchy. This is a simple example of your traditional RDBMS, whereas Essbase essentially store data in terms of hierarchy. So 3 step in the lifecycle implementation: post data analysis. Once you identify and understand the requirement and plot your mock reports or template of your Essbase cube, you pull data and metadata from source, store into Essbase, aggregate, apply business logic, and finally reporting are done in the basic way. Now before it is done, before metadata comes to your system, it go through some level of it may be possible before you implement Essbase, there may be need of data modeling, there may be need of logical data modeling, there may be need of physical data modeling. In this diagram which you see with the down arrow, my source is data come from physical data source. Maybe I like to prepare my HR analytics, HR related like hiring, recruitment, compensation, benefits. All these source exist in our PeopleSoft, right? Oracle PeopleSoft. But the way the metadata is organized, it is not appropriate for reporting purpose. Therefore, the data comes to me required to be modeled. Modeling in a simple way, converting your metadata in a way that it is meaningful and appropriate for reporting. Could be many reasons behind this. One simple reason, for example, I have employee details. I have got table called TBL employee. TBL employee data stored in multiple tables like TBL employee personal detail. I got another table TBF employee benefits, all the benefits associated with them. TBL employee family background, past employers, past experience, or so on. There are so many tables talking about employee which we require to denormalize. Denormalize where I would connect join all the employee table into a single table and make it one dim employee, which will contain all the information about the employee, including employee past experience, personal details, and all other information. Right. So this one simple example, denormalization may in your physical data modeling, you remodel your source in a way that it is meaningful to the user. At multiple level it is done. We'll talk many case studies as we proceed further. We'll take a couple of case studies from sales and from finance, and I'll tell you step by step way of pulling this metadata and designing the model. Ultimately, if I say for a space point of view, the metadata should be available to you star schema. The ultimate objective is to convert especially the model into star schema. Now what is star schema and all? If you're new, if you find these terms are alien to you, new to you, I would once again recommend you to go to the fundamental of data warehousing and data modeling. That's a recommended solution. So when I start implement solution, I ensure that or retune my model according to my Essbase Hyperion need. This is a detailed model structure for my Essbase implementation. You see which, so we talked in two pieces from Essbase point of view, we talked it from requirement point of view. This is aggregated view of both of them. You see the first step, as usual, you understand and analyze your requirement. Ultimately what people want. People requirement all often in one line statement, right? Like I given over here, I want the CEO of a company say, I want my product distribution should be streamlined. It means product distribution may not have lot of flaws, lot of difficulty associated. We want to streamline. In order to streamline, we require some sort of analysis, right? Like what are the distribution channel we have? Couple of questions. What are the distribution? What are the distribution channels? What are the product distribution channel? Okay. Which channel, or you can say product operating costs associated with various channel. Which, so a couple of questions you ask your business user, your business question come from them, and according to their input we design the requirement model. Generally we prepare a mock report, a sample mock report I have with me. Prepare a mock report which give me information about what is exactly needed. See, I prepare a multiple statement. Requirement 1, this is my requirement 1, what is business needed, how they like to see the report, in which format, what a different way of data presentation, what are the underlying dimension and fact you have in order to draw this report, what is your graphical presentation of data model, what is your dimension hierarchy, what is topology information. This is exactly the requirement sheet I submit to my client and to my analyst and ask them to fill it. And database prototype details like how many server you have, what database you have, what IP address and other information. So we have set of activities, documentation, we give it to the developers, we give it to the business analyst team and ask them to provide the required information. Then we draft an outline. Outline is like a logical organization of your business metadata. This is a simple example. You see, after analyzing my requirement, I organize my data into this format. My time dimension, my common chart of account or fact table, this is my product table or product dimension, market and scenario. This is sample metadata I prepare before I actually put into a production. So draft up outline. It would be an Excel sheet or maybe in a notepad where before I actually design a solution I would have a broad idea or high overview about the solution I'm building. Then you check the requirement, check the system requirement. Like what is system requirement? System requirement is like before you starting solution you should be knowing how many people going to access the reporting solution or your solution. So you ask first In case depends upon number of people your solution has, you decide your strategy. What is your server size? What is memory, operating system? How many people are going to access? What is load during peak business hours or days? For example, you find during month end you get more queries, right? During month end, so you find the number of queries or people access my solution, the number of people access my solution are more during the month end, because they do a lot of month end activity like month closing activities, variance analysis, a lot of complicated analysis they do. So I should be knowing this information. What is your user profile, demographic, like what kind of user you have? I've got C-band people like CEO, CFO. I've got C-band people who like to see the information. I have business analyst who like to see the information. I have a view only user. So what category of user you have, what profile they have according to we design a solution. The C-band CEO may have a different requirement than business analyst. I'm a business analyst for HR domain. My requirements are different. If I belong to production department, my requirements are different. If I belong to business development, my requirements are different. People have a different requirement, depends upon their job role. This is all we address in the check system requirement. Then we load some sample data before we prepare actual solution. Load some sample data, write some calculation. As I said, a calculation like calculating simple sales tax to complex calculation and allocation. Load some sample data, do some sample calculation, prepare one sample report and verify with the user. So as I said over here, you prepare a report like the sample report. Hey, this is my report. This is how it look like. Because your user do not know, your business user actually do not know what they need. They do not know. So you prepare a sample report. This give you some information about, they get some vague idea about how it is needed. So load the test, create a sample report, get it checked, verify by using user, and if they find it good, whatever recommendation they do, implement this. Otherwise, continue to do the same activity in a cyclic fashion. You see, it's an iterative model. It means you don't get a solution in one go. It's an iterative model. As you proceed further, you get more optimized solution. Okay. This is what we are going to see with keeping one requirement on hand. We'll build a whole solution. The last part of it is called Essbase architecture. I'll give you a very brief overview of Essbase architecture now. You see, it's three layered solution. You have an underlying data source, you have a middle tier, and you have a client tier. So in broader way, client sends a request, your business user makes a request through one of the interface. For example, I'm using Excel spreadsheet as an interface. So all the requests I would submit via Excel sheet. My all requests would be submit via Excel sheet. Right? For my client interface, one of the interfaces is Excel sheet. My request will travel via middle tier. Generally, when I send my request, it will travel over HTTP protocol, and there's a service called provider services. Receive my request and in turn pass to my underlying data source. The data source interprets the request and process and pass the information back to my client. It's a three-tier architecture. There are different kind of clients. We can broadly classify your Essbase clients. One for your business users or end users, like Essbase spreadsheet client, or we also have another component called SmartView. We have another client for business user. We also have a reporting client. Then we have for administrator or developer who are going to design the solution. For administrator or a developer, there's another client called Essbase admin service. There's another client called Essbase administration service, the one which you see in my screen, where I shown you. This is my Essbase administration service, where I design my outline of my system, load data, perform calculation, and do all the required activities needed to build your Essbase administration service. And then you have primary two clients. We also have a client for developer like APIs, application programming interface. In case you like to customize solution, maybe you can make use of the set of APIs available for different languages like Visual Basic, C API, Java API. You can customize interface and work from the external source as well using API. After people send the request to client tier, the request is further go to the middle tier. Nowadays the common middle tier solution is Fusion middleware. So, and your application server and web server is your WebLogic server. So when you submit your request, it travels through middle tier. Your WebLogic server opens a request, do all the required activities like opening your session and all the things, and then pass this request to underlying data source. Data source listener receive the request, process it, and pass back to the same path we follow in the reverse order. So these are three-tier architecture you have. It is also possible to configure these days because of high availability need or load balancing need. It may be possible to configure your server in a cluster environment, or you can make a mirror copy of Essbase server to eliminate the downtime, to provide high availability of your Essbase server, because the data is very precious. Your financial data, HR data is very precious, and you cannot afford to lose at any cost. Also, because nature of business is 24/7, therefore the data should always be available with no downtime. So it may possible data can be mirror in multiple cluster, so the people can access. If any one of the node is down, it can still be available in second and third node. That's the data clustering. What are the components fall under that? Essbase in turn consists of many components. We can categorize as Essbase administrator service. Second one, Essbase server, the actual server which process your request, render the request, which receive the request, render the request, and process and pass the output back to your requested source. So this is Essbase server. It's a backend process called Essbase.exe running all the time. Another is called Essbase administration service. It is user interface where people, especially your developer and administrator, are going to communicate. We have a couple of more interface like Essbase integration service and Essbase Studio. Essbase integration service, as the name indicate, it connect Essbase to underlying RDBMS and pull data and metadata from RDBMS. So this basically speed up your this IDE, integrated development environment, that speed up your development process. Then there's another client is recently added called Essbase Studio. Essbase Studio is also another interface through which we can design complete solution. It's again IDE, Essbase integrated development environment. All these components you can see under your Essbase. Essbase Server, Studio, Essbase integration services all fall under one component. Then we have a client here, the one I shown you, Excel add-in, which is spreadsheet add-in, which allow you this Essbase add-ins, which allow you to connect to Essbase server directly, remaining in Excel sheet. We have another add-in called Hyperion. This is called Smart View. The overlapping functionality between Essbase client and Smart View. Smart View is common client for across all Hyperion product, whereas Essbase client is only for Essbase. So this is the difference. So that's a broad level overview about it. As we are running short of time, and my idea was to demonstrate you basic information about basic architecture information about Oracle Essbase that we met. We would continue discussing about more in greater detail in subsequent session. We are running short of time, so I'm going to stop it over here and open for your questions. Your questions are welcome.